Hey guys, Ryan Fowler from the FoxSports.com Fantasy Department with your Fantasy Flash for the early games of Week 8. Studs and duds of the week, here we go. We start at the quarterback position. Matt Ryan coming off the bye, had to head into Philadelphia, and usually the Eagles, money after the bye. That's what Andy Reid's known for. Well, his mustache is on the hot seat as well as he is. 22 for 29 passing for Ryan, 3 touchdowns, 30 fantasy points for the Falcons QB as he hasn't missed a beat. Falcons moved to 7-0. At wide receiver, Titus Young going to get more playing time now that Nate Burleson's out with the broken leg, and he started off with a bang. 9 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns via Matthew Stafford, who also had a big game. 22 fantasy points for Titus Young. I would get him off the waiver wire if he's still available ASAP. Finally, want to focus on Miami's defense and special teams. They don't get a lot of love in fantasy circles, but an interception, fumble recovery, 4 sacks. They blocked a punt for a touchdown, also blocked a kick. 24 fantasy points for the Miami defense and special teams against Mark Sanchez and the Jets as Sanchez continues to struggle. Rex Ryan being stubborn maybe. Tim Tebow didn't even get any major looks at quarterback today. Big kudos to the Miami defense. Moving on to our duds of the week. For those early games, we mentioned Matthew Stafford, Titus Young, Ryan Broyles got in the end zone. One of the names you didn't hear very often, Calvin Johnson. Against the Seahawks today, 25 receiving yards. That was it. Calvin Johnson has been AWOL for a good portion of the last month. We'll get into that more here in a second. Moving on, Steven Jackson, the running back for the Rams. I mentioned about a month and a half ago, he was going to get phased out of this offense. It looked like Darrell Richardson was going to be getting more of the touches, and it continued today across the pond at Wembley Stadium. Only 23 rush yards for Steven Jackson. Don't be surprised if he gets moved before the trade deadline. And finally, Phillip Rivers, the San Diego Chargers quarterback, coming off the bye, trying to put that meltdown against the Broncos where he threw 4 picks behind him, but not a big game for him. 154 pass yards for Rivers, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The Browns beat the Chargers in a boring 7-6 game and some horrible elements there along the lakeshore of Lake Erie. All right, getting back to our fantasy focus, Calvin Johnson, last 4 games, let's break it down. Averaged 4 receptions per game, averaged 67 receiving yards per game. But here's the big whammy for Megatron. No touchdowns in his last 4 games. You have to wonder if that Madden curse is holding with some legitimacy as we move into this deeper into this season. And Calvin Johnson's been kind of AWOL, like I said, for the last month. Big numbers speaking volumes there. All right, for more fantasy news and notes, be sure to check out foxsports.com/fantasy/football. Follow me on Twitter @FoxSportsFowler. Until next week, I'm Ryan Fowler.